Are you ready to make language assessments not only effective, but actually fun for your students? In this video, we're diving deep into how to gamify your language assessments with strategies that are simple, engaging, and easy to implement. If you're a teacher who wants to see instant wins in student engagement and learning without hours of prep, you're in the right place. When it comes to getting students fully engaged in language learning, nothing works quite like interactive games. Picture this. Instead of just a basic vocab quiz, you're running a digital quiz with a twist. Platforms like Kahoot or Quizzes bring that game show vibe to your classroom. But here's where it gets interesting. Imagine adding power-ups. Yep, just like in video games. Students get bonus points not only for correct answers, but for creativity. Got a student who uses a new phrase creatively or pulls off an epic description in their response? Boom, they're awarded extra points. Suddenly, every question isn't just about getting it right. It's about showing off their skills in a way that makes language learning exciting and personal. Now let's talk about a classic vocabulary bingo, but with a twist that makes it a hidden assessment powerhouse. Forget the usual bingo hall vibe. This one is dynamic and totally adaptable to any language level. Hand out bingo cards filled with vocabulary words or phrases. And as students hear these terms in context, maybe it's you saying them or their classmates using them in sentences, they get to mark them off. It's simple, yes, but it's also a fantastic way to assess listening and comprehension in real time. The more they engage, the closer they are to calling out bingo. And the best part, they're learning without even realizing it because they're just focusing on the game. If your students are a little competitive, race to the finish might just be your new best friend. Here's how it goes. Set up different stations around the room, each with a language challenge. Maybe listening to a phrase and interpreting it, translating a sentence, or giving a quick verbal response. Students team up or go solo, racing through each station with the goal of completing every challenge. This setup is brilliant for skill assessment, but it doesn't just feel like a test. They're too busy having fun, racing each other and celebrating little wins at each station to think of it as anything but a challenge. By the end, you've got a class of energized, engaged students, and you've gathered valuable insights into their language skills without a shred of pressure. Imagine walking into your classroom and feeling like you've entered a bustling restaurant, an international airport, or even a local marketplace, all without leaving your school. That's the magic of scenario challenges. Set the stage by giving students real-life roles where they use target vocabulary or grammar to navigate a scenario. They might be ordering a meal at a restaurant, bargaining for souvenirs at a market, or asking for directions. At first, they're in a deep role, but soon they're deep in the moment, stringing together words and phrases with purpose. The twist? You're watching for more than just accuracy. Students get points for creativity, for pulling out those vocab words they might not typically use, and most importantly, for finding ways to communicate effectively, even if their sentences aren't textbook perfect. The goal is to keep them engaged, talking and thinking on their feet, letting them shine through their unique approaches. Then there's the language quest, an adventure waiting to unfold in your classroom. Picture this. Students embark on a quest to unlock levels of completing language-based tasks, each more challenging than the last. As they make their way through, they're not just answering questions or practicing phrases, they're earning points, badges, or unlocking secret powers that keep them coming back for more. One level might have them translating a set of clues, while the next requires them to narrate their travel plans. It's all a game, yes, but it's also a skill building journey, where every level mastered means a new layer of vocabulary, comprehension, and confidence added to their language toolkit. The reward system creates that just one more level mentality, making language practice feel fresh and irresistible. And for a touch of drama, try the character development game. In this setup, students become someone else, a tourist fumbling through local phrases, a local helping visitors, or a business person navigating a meeting. But here's the kicker. Each character comes with their own style or vocabulary set, which nudges students to adapt and explore different ways of speaking. Suddenly, they're not just learning words, they're embodying them. They're putting on the persona, considering how a tourist might phrase things differently than a local, or how a business person might use formal language. This game brings a layer of depth to language learning, encouraging students to step into new identities and experiment with different tones, vocabulary, and even body language to fit their character. Ready to dive even deeper into engaging, effective language teaching? If today's strategies got you excited, you're going to love what we got coming up at Comprehended 2025. Imagine a whole month of hands-on sessions, dynamic workshops, and insights from some of the best in the field of comprehension-based language teaching, all designed to help you level up your classroom approach. From game-changing assessment techniques to breakthrough strategies for boosting student comprehension and engagement, Comprehended 2025 is the place to be if you're serious about making language learning meaningful and fun. Whether you're new to comprehension-based instruction or looking to refine your expertise, this is where the best ideas come to life. Don't miss out on early access. Head over to comprehended.co/register and grab your spot. Let's take your teaching to the next level together. See you there. Are you ready to boost your students' listening and speaking skills without making it feel like a chore? Start with the Hot Seat Challenge, a fast-paced game that gets everyone involved. Imagine one student sitting at the front of the room, facing the rest of the class. Their mission? Guess the target vocabulary word. But here's the catch. They can't see the word while their classmates give clues in the target language. It's like a game of charades, but in a spoken form, pushing students to think quickly, listening intently, and creatively. Communicate. With each correct guess, they're reinforcing vocabulary, making connections, and boosting their language recall, all while having a blast trying to crack the clues. Next up, bring some suspense into the room with language Jenga. Imagine a Jenga tower stacked with wooden blocks, each block hiding a language challenge. Pull a block and you might be asked to describe your weekend plans, talk about your favorite food, or use 3 new adjectives. The thrill of not knowing which block will send the tower toppling adds a layer of excitement, but the real magic is in the practice that sneaks in as they focus on keeping the tower steady. Each task strengthens their speaking skills and vocabulary recall. Suddenly, students are all ears, listening to each other's responses and itching for their turn to take in the next block. Finally, take the classic Simon Says game and turn it into a language learning powerhouse. In this version, Simon gives commands in the target language. Simon says, touch your nose. Simon says, jump 3 times. Younger students especially love this as it gives them a chance to move, laugh, and practice listening without any pressure. Every command becomes an instant assessment of comprehension, but for students it feels more like a recess game than a test. It's the perfect way to review vocabulary, sharpen listening skills, and keep their energy high all at once. Thanks so much for watching. If you're loving the idea of making assessments more interactive, you'll definitely want to check out the next video on using escape rooms in the CI classroom. It's packed with ideas to get your students thinking, moving, and speaking. And before you go, I'd love to know, what's your favorite game to use in the language classroom? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, happy comprehensible input.